Hey, everybody, welcome back. It's Mr. Reality joined by psychic medium Liz Cross. Liz, how are you?
Next question.
When I go through the list of your YouTube comments, and I always read those and I try and respond to people, and there's a big request for Joan of Arc. And Joan of Arc is a famous French peasant girl who rose to prominence during the Hundred-Year War of England. And at 13, started hearing voices in her head and visions that she thought were from saints. And so she went to the Dauphin of France to help him reclaim his kingdom for English control. And I thought people might be interested in this one. Let's hear what she has to say.
I have never channeled her. I'm so excited.
Oh, okay.
I have her here. What would you like to know?
What? Tell us what she's appearing to you as. What's Joan of Arc look like? Are these pictures accurate, or does she have a different demeanor? And what's her garb like she's wearing?
She looks very much like, well, it looks more, I don't know, it doesn't look like that, like the chainmail or whatever that is, the
No, she
armor.
didn't come to for battle. Okay.
Um, she looks to me more like a animal sort of leather type of sort of top with cut off sleeves, vest. She has on a vest and she has on like a short skirt, sort of military looking thing. And she has on really sturdy type of boots that strap up. No, so she looks very like tough feminine.
It's a cool look. I'm excited to talk to her. Uh, so was she in truth executed uh, early on in her life at 19? Or did she live a happy life?
Did you live a happy life? It was a tough life. Were you executed at 19? No, I think it was a little bit older than that.
Okay. So tell us about those visions, those images, those voices that you heard. What's the truth behind them? And knowing where you're at now, where did they come from?
Those were downloads from spirit. Uh, she did very much have downloads. She also knew she would get warnings of impending war as well. She was always connecting. Were you a psychic? Yes, she was very psychic in that lifetime.
Did she receive any training and education from either a mother or an aunt or a grandmother in that spiritual circle?
Did you see? So training and education as in psychic training?
Yeah, yeah, any of that. Was that
No.
usually it's passed down generationally. So
It is. Yeah,
did
but
she live
no,
with her
she did
parents?
not.
Did she grow up with her parents or was she orphaned?
Did you grow up with your parents? No. Some men raised her. Who were these men? Like, I feel like some uncle and some boys. She grew up in a very masculine household.
And what happened to her parents?
What happened to your parents? What happened? They passed away with illness.
Was she an alien coming to live in a human body, or, and if not, which number incarnation for her as a human was this
Were you
lifetime?
an alien coming to live in a human body? No, but usually all of her past lives are very masculine. This was one of the few that she decided to become a female in this lifetime. And what number lifetime were you on? Relatively, like what number when you were Joan of Arc? She was in the 300s even then.
And is she incarnated now?
Yes.
Where is she living? What country? And what's she
Where
doing?
where do you live now? Where are you living now? Where's your current lifetime? She's a male again. And where are you living? Whoa. She's fighting the Russia-Ukraine war, and she's on the Russian side.
Wow. Well, hopefully her days are not numbered there, but is she have any psychic power or ability as that male incarnation now?
No,
Did she see any aliens or extraterrestrials or strange visions in the sky that presented themselves as angels
hmm.
in her life as Joan of Arc?
Did you know who you were getting the information from when you were connecting? I mean, she didn't really know. She believed it was the angels, but she wasn't quite sure. So now that you went past on that lifetime, you crossed over. Looking back, was it the angels? Yes, it was. And
Okay,
guides.
so it was angels that were giving her information.
And her guides, yes.
Um, are they on the side of a war or are they just on the side of your own spiritual development?
On the side of the war, or just your own spiritual development.
Okay, specifically, can she tell us, did she hear voices? Did she see things? Did they come to her in dreams? And like what type of information did she get?
What type of information did you get? Was it dream? No, she would get visions. Did you hear the message? Not so much hear the message, but she definitely had visions.
And when did they start coming?
And when did they start coming? Oh, from when she was little, about 3 or 4 years old.
All right. And was she encouraged by her uncles or whoever she lived with?
They found it quite fascinating. Um, they were kind of, it was all very hush hush because of the church, she says.
Right.
Like he didn't want anyone to know, but they found it quite fascinating. They would almost like hold seances and things like that, see if they could get in information. And that she would often envision or have these visions of things that were true.
Was
She
she
grew up in an extremely masculine household. I mean, extremely. She wasn't really allowed to be girly.
was she married in that lifetime?
Were you married in that lifetime? No, no. Oh, she had a
So
lot of men chasing her, and I'm saying, but were you interested? No, she wasn't interested.
so like how did she go and gain the trust and support of Charles VII and his court despite being, a young teenage girl? Like did the story of her visions come and did her uncles support her? Did they gain faith? Like I want to know, like, how did you get that close and talk to him?
Is this an accurate story
Oh
of
yeah,
your
that's you got to get there
life?
first.
Yeah, let's say that. It's not wholly accurate, no.
Did she
Um,
talk to Charles VII?
did you talk to Charles the Seventh? No, but there was messages relayed to him about her visions. That's why she was so important, because of these visions, right? And because a lot of them were correct. Now back in the day, that's basically what these kingdoms relied upon, were psychics, visionaries, sages. Their right hand man or woman was usually the one that had the psychic information, because they needed to be able to predict when they were going to be under attack, what the threats were, bad weather, things like that. So that her skill and those visions were very important for the survival of the kingdom.
And so, what role did she really play in the siege of Orleans?
She was a visionary. Did you actually fight? No, but she was there. She was there, but she didn't actually go into combat, but she was alongside the military.
Wow. And what type of information was she giving them? Like there's men behind the hill. There's like what was her guidance giving them?
What did you, what type of information did you give them? The location of the enemy. It very much like the size of the enemy, how many, what weapons, things of that nature. So she really was very dominant in that role of the military. The other thing is they chopped her hair off. And I'm saying why? Because they didn't want her to be seen as a female on the field.
Right, because
They
of the
had to
raping.
make, yeah, they had, well, but also there was a leak of information that she was the visionary. And they're always after the visionaries because they're the most dangerous tool of the
Right.
military, right? They're giving over information of future combats, future attacks. So therefore, they had to disguise her as a male.
Let's go into the pre-life planning of Joan of Arc and what was her goal and what spiritual evolution did she gain in that lifetime by kind of shifting the balance of power.
Why did you plan a lifetime like that? She needed some excitement, some sense of purpose.
Don't we
Um,
all?
yeah, she wanted to be in the that's her thing though. That is her thing. She likes to be in the thick of it, right? Even now, being a Russian soldier in the Ukraine war, come on, that's in the thick of it, right? She likes to be in battles and things like that. This was just another role that the soul played in that particular lifetime that was different from, because she often gets killed in battles, right? That, what about your current lifetime that you're in now? Will you survive? Yes, but will be permanently deformed. So what do you mean? Will have some sort of possible loss of an arm, or and PTSD, and quite a tragic life following this war. Are you deployed at the moment? Yes, she is deployed at the moment in the middle of the war and has seen a lot of death and destruction. So did you see a lot of death and destruction during that lifetime as Joan of Arc? Yeah, yeah. And that's what her soul thrives on.
So in 1430, she was captured by Burgundian forces and turned over to the English during battle. And she was tried for heresy, witchcraft, cross dressing, and was found guilty and allegedly burned at the stake on May 30th, 1431 at 19. Was she truly burned at the stake or did she escape that by luck of the
So that
draw?
just that just confirms everything, because I don't know a lot about Joan of Arc, right? That just confirms everything she just told us, right? It's
Yep.
cross-dressing, witchcraft. Okay. So were
Apparently
you
that was
burned?
illegal back then.
Well, oh, you mean witchcraft or all of
All
it?
that stuff.
Probably. Um, okay.
Was
So
she
did were
truly burned at the stake? And can she talk to us about if it was a sham
were you
court
truly burned?
proceedings or
She was burned at the stake. Were you given, was there any court proceedings? Not really. It was, this is what you've done. This is how you dress. This is where we saw you. So you must be guilty.
wouldn't they want that power of witchcraft in their own domain? Or were they so, entrenched by and puppeteered by the church that they had to make an example out of her? Because I
Well,
mean, if I'm in power and there's a psychic on trial, I'd say, okay, we're gonna burn the psychic, but hey, come work for us.
um, did they offer you a job? No, they saw her as the enemy. They had their own soothsayer. They had their own seer. They who saw that she was the enemy.
She was exonerated in 1456 and declared a saint by the Catholic Church in 1920. How does she feel about that?
How do you feel about that? Well, it was just a role that she played. I mean, It's funny because it's very lackluster when she just says, "Oh yeah, yeah, I've been better. I've been other things. I've been more important. I'm playing an important role in this lifetime." I feel like she's captain at the moment of wherever this are you in the Ukraine? Yes, she's in the Ukraine. And
Okay.
she's captain. What about the winter? Winter is coming soon. Yeah, she dreads that. Do you find that it's very difficult in winter? Yeah, it's exceptionally difficult, but she likes the challenge.
So, what do we know about her early childhood or her parents? Did they die when she was young? And did they pass that? I mean, usually we hear it comes from the mother or the family member that passed down through generations. So, was there another person in her lifetime that had these abilities or her
Um,
lineage?
yes. So she had a brother,
Huh.
but her parents were ill. I feel like they did pass. When did your parents pass? When she was around 3 or 4. And then what happened? And then they had to go live with an uncle who had all boys. And so, do you know where this gift came from? It came from her dad's side of the family. Was the uncle your dad's side of the family? He was her dad's brother. Was he psychic? No.
Now, she said she's had more other important lifetimes, and people listening are probably like, okay, tell us about one of those lifetimes that you feel is more important than Joan of Arc.
Yeah, really. Um, she's been in, so it's funny because another lifetime she was in the British military.
You got to play
And
both sides of the coin.
yeah, and I feel like she's telling me under some sort of ship battle. There was a battle there. There is a battle of ships. Her ship sunk, her boat sunk, and she drowned along with all her men. And then what? She was in Vietnam.
Okay, but we're looking for more pivotal lifetimes that we may recognize as being pivotal. We want to know why, see either spiritually or developmentally, why they were more impactful than the Joan of Arc historical event.
Why were they more impactful? Well, she believes leading a a ship and being in a battle is very impactful. I'm like, yeah, but you drowned. She goes, yeah, but it was so much fun. Oh my God, this is an
But
adrenaline junkie. And then what about Vietnam? She's always leader of the platoon. So she led the platoon in Vietnam. And why was that so significant? She said, well, because we shouldn't have been there. And we knew that, but we continued to fight anyway. Now, that was very difficult for her on a spiritual level. They knew that they shouldn't have been there, but it was kill or be killed, and they had to fight.
was her next lifetime in Vietnam to make recompense for the charge that she, or I mean, there's some Vietnam vets that are still alive today, so it's possible that it didn't
She
happen.
she died in Vietnam.
Okay, so
She's
sorry.
actually going to make it out of the Ukraine war, the Ukraine Russia war, but it's not going to be pretty. So she says, this is my lesson to know that I don't want to live post war. I'd rather just die in battle. But it's something she has to experience.
Wow. And how many lifetimes has she had since Joan of Arc? What number is she at now?
How many lifetimes have you had since Joan of Arc? She says 5 lifetimes.
How many lifetimes does she think she needs to have to step up the evolutionary ladder? Like, what other things does she need to do? What lessons does she need to learn?
How many lifetimes do you think you need to step up the evolutionary ladder? At least 1,000. And she loves it. She loves being here on the earth plane.
So, what steps and what other spiritual lessons does she have to learn?
Self-love, the ability to be able to live in a peaceful existence without the need for adrenaline just to feel you're alive. She always felt disconnected from her emotions, numb, void, and it's the adrenaline junkie within her that reconnects only temporarily. It's almost like a drug. It reconnects these emotions.
Does she feel like she'd have a better advantage if she could have some limited recall of the past incarnations she's had?
Do you feel that's a good question? Do you feel that you would have a better advantage if you had some recall? Yes, yes, and not have to go through the mind wipe? Absolutely.
And so, how many people from her lifetime as Joan of Arc were in her spiritual group, and how many of those are in her lifetime now, in her time in Russia? Do they carry with you that family structure, or has she drifted and gone into a new social group or spiritual social group?
Are the family structure, is it still in place? No, they're at home in Russia, and that there's a lot of sadness. They actually don't know whether she's going to make it out alive, even though she is a he in that particular lifetime. A lot of worry. Also has a child that she has left behind in Russia. Then the child worries for her safety. Um, sorry, what was the other part of that question?
I also wanted to know which angels did she talk to as Joan of Arc? Were they angel names we know or lesser known angels?
Which angels did you talk to? Michael.
And is Michael have any dog in the fight in Russia versus Ukraine now? Is he talking to either Joan or other people?
Does he have any dog in the fight in Russia versus Ukraine? No, just to continue to try to bless all the victims of the war. A lot of people are praying to Michael, and he does hear their prayers and he tries to give them some comfort, but no, he can't just stop the war.
Well,
Excuse
he tried to meddle before. Why not now? What's the difference? Is there a new power structure in place up there, or is it harder to change things?
You tried to meddle before. Why are you not meddling now? Because he's not supposed to. The way it plays out, no matter how hurtful and cruel, is the way it's supposed to be.
Was there any punishment towards Michael from a higher authority for trying to give messages to Joan in the past?
No, no, because Michael was just an energy.
Did Michael ever incarnate as a human?
Did Michael ever incarnate as a human? No, not not post being Michael. Pre-Michael, were you ever on the earth plane as a human? Yes.
Is Michael an alien or an alien technology or an alien energy?
Alien technology? No. Alien energy? No.
Does he still hang out with the other seven archangels like Uriel, Rogel, Raphael, Sariel, and Remiel? Or have they drifted apart?
Yeah, really. That's a good question. Do you still hang around the other archangels? I mean, they see each other in passing, but they're very busy.
What things is Michael focused on now, and what are the other angels focused on at this time? On and do they have other? Well, let's do that first.
So what are they focusing on now? Just different strategies at saving people on the planet. You know, timing is a big factor. Like it's in the example that was just given to me is like somebody thrown from a vehicle and they're there to catch them so that the person being thrown from the vehicle doesn't die. And then they're put down gently.
I've known people that's happened to. Yes. Are they focused on any other planets, or is their sole task to work on, helping people on Earth?
Do you focus on any other planets? No, it's earthbound.
What's so important about Earth, Michael? Sir Michael. I don't know what I should call him, but I'm no disrespect.
What's so important about Earth? Well, that's where he lives, in the consciousness of the beings on Earth.
Can he interact with beings on their spiritual plane, or does he live on a higher spiritual plane than what happens to us when we dissolve and die?
Your spiritual plane. Are you at a higher spiritual plane? He is. But can you connect with us? He can. He can connect and often does. But don't forget, there's a lot of requests going his way. So it's very difficult to, you know, juggle all those requests.
Yeah, I think you get a lot of email. What about Michael?
I
How
know.
many does he get a
Yeah,
day?
really. How many requests do you get a day? Billions.
And how many is he able to respond to?
How many are you able to respond to? He delegates a lot of it out. And how many though are you able to that you delegate out? How much is that? What percentage is that? Like 1%.
Has he considered an AI chatbot?
Have you, because you are so funny. Have you considered an AI chatbot? No, and he thinks that's funny too. Now, these are excellent questions because I've always had a problem with the concept of people calling down Archangel Michael to resolve all their issues.
Right.
Okay. I've always felt a red flag there. And now we know why. If he's getting billions and billions and billions of requests, and he's only servicing like maybe 1% or less than 1%, and the ones that he is dealing with are of the example of, catching someone out of a car, these miraculous savings of
Right. And
various
those are the
different
things that you
people.
don't know that you're requesting that, it just happened to be there at the right time. Are there other archangels that have a more open inbox that maybe people should start petitioning?
Are there other angels that have a more open inbox? Gabriel,
I would think
yes,
that people are sounding his horns all the time.
that is true. That is true. But the pressure on Archangel Michael is ridiculous. It's a lot.
And so does he wish that he had more authority and more power and more delegating, and how many angels work under him to help fulfill the requests that he is asked?
How many angels work under you? Several thousand. And do you wish you had more authority? I mean, he wishes he could fix it for everyone, but that's just not even energetically possible.
Can Archangel Michael tell us any tricks or tips to helping us manifest down here on the earth plane?
You have to believe it in your heart.
If people pray now to Joan of Arc, since she is a patron saint, where does that request go?
Do people pray to you all the time? And where does that request go? It goes up to source, but what does source do with that request? Contemplates it, and it's either accepted or denied.
How long has Michael been doing this job? Did he have it before Christianity?
Did you have this job before Christianity? Yes. Yes. So prior to that, he was seen as one of the gods of the earth. Were you seen as the god of the earth? No, but as one of the gods of the earth, the protectorate of the earth.
And in the future, let's move out 50 years. What does Michael see about Christendom and how its spread is on the world?
Oh, that's a good question. What about, the Christian religion going forward 50 years? Is it still as prevalent? No, no, it's a dying breed. Even Catholicism, yes, Liz, even Catholicism. Now that's going to ruffle a lot of feathers.
What does that mean to him and his bros?
Yeah, really. What does that mean to you? What if the consciousness of Archangel Michael is no longer called upon? Then what? Then he'll morph into something else that is seen as important. So we're
Just go on
going back
vacation?
into this spiritual time of, the sun, the moon, the water, the earth, the air, things like that. We're going back to that.
Why is there war on Earth?
Ooh, why is there war on earth? Because of the life lessons that are coming through us due to the war. War is very violent, it's very tumultuous, very volatile, very scary, but lots of great lessons come in. And because of war, a lot of stories come in because of war.
What does he see as the progression of Joan's current war that she's in, the Ukraine Russian war?
What do you see as the progression of the Ukraine Russian war, the war that Joan of Arc is currently in? It's nonsense. It's nonsense. It's doing the job it's supposed to do, but the violence is horrific. And there's a lot that's not being reported. And he's showing me, like, just soldiers going into homes with machetes and just chopping people up. Like, it's bad. And a lot of that stuff they don't want you to know about, right? War is messy. Women
What's
are
the point of
being,
this war then?
yeah, what's the point? It's the point is Russia. It's doing this on principle, and Russia will win the war.
Is there anything that you can do in war to completely obliterate a soul?
Is there anything that we can do during war that can completely obliterate a soul? No. What even if a nuclear bomb went off? Does that obliterate a soul? No. Now that's a theory that's been thrown around quite a lot, that a nuclear weapon or a nuclear bomb can destroy a soul. No. What can destroy a soul? Only source can destroy a soul.
Wow. That's awesome. I mean, it's horrible and horrific, but it's great to know that those people out there spreading the misinformation now their minds can be put at ease. And it's just going to be a huge blight on your soul that's going to cause PTSD that you'll need to provide a lot of healing for in the future. Archangel
Yeah.
Michael, I appreciate your time. Joan of Arc, I appreciate your time. Each and every one of you out there are awesome. We appreciate you listening to us. So like, share, subscribe, and give us a thumbs up. And thank you, Liz, for this. This is awesome. I never thought I would get a chance to have answers to these questions. So I honestly really thank you. You're great.
Oh, well, thank you. Don't forget, Mr. Reality has a tip jar down below. This was a great probe that you put together for us. So we learned a lot. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.